Have you ever felt like you're giving your all in a relationship, yet your partner still seems distant or unsatisfied? Or maybe you've been on the other side, yearning for connection, but feeling misunderstood, like you're speaking two entirely different languages. These frustrations, they're more common than you think. But here's the good news: Dr. Gary Chapman, a seasoned marriage counselor and best-selling author, has discovered a solution. And it's one that has transformed millions of relationships around the world. The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts isn't just another self-help book. It's a timeless guide to understanding the heart of human connection. With over 30 years of experience, Dr. Chapman dives into the invisible forces that make, or break, our relationships. Whether you're freshly in love or have spent decades together, this book reveals a simple yet powerful truth: everyone gives and receives love differently. Why should you read this book? Imagine this: discovering the key to your partner's heart, unlocking a deeper connection and fewer misunderstandings. Imagine a love that grows stronger, more vibrant, with time. Chapman's insights aren't abstract theories, they're practical tools you can use right now to build a love that lasts. The heart of his message? A concept he calls love languages, 5 unique ways people express and experience love. Think of love like a fuel tank. To feel loved, your emotional tank needs to stay full. But here's the catch: what fills your tank may not fill your partner's. Without knowing their language, you could be pouring your love into the wrong places, leaving both tanks empty and both hearts frustrated. Understanding and speaking your partner's love language is the secret to a thriving relationship. Now, let's dive deeper into this life-changing idea. Through the story of Sarah and John, we'll explore how learning to speak each other's love language saved their relationship, and how it could save yours too. Words of affirmation. Picture this: Sarah notices how hard John has been working. One evening, as he finishes up a long, exhausting day, she says, "I'm so proud of you. I really appreciate all that you do for us." For Sarah, these might just be words. But for John, it's everything. His posture softens, his face lights up, and his heart feels full. For people whose love language is words of affirmation, kind, encouraging, and affirming words are more than compliments. They're a way of being seen, valued, and understood. It's not about flattery, it's about genuine acknowledgement of who they are and what they contribute. Now, let's pause and think about this in a broader sense. When was the last time someone said, "I'm proud of you," or "You mean the world to me"? How did that moment make you feel? Those words might have been small, but their impact was likely profound. For someone who values words of affirmation, these moments aren't fleeting, they're transformative. They remind them they are loved, appreciated, and cherished for who they are. But here's the deeper lesson: this isn't just about romantic relationships. It's about how we view the people around us, our partners, friends, children, or even coworkers. Too often, we assume people just know how much they mean to us. But what if they don't? When we adopt the habit of affirming others, we start to see the world differently. Instead of focusing on what's missing or what's wrong, we begin to notice and celebrate the good in people. It shifts our mindset from criticism to gratitude. Take John and Sarah, for example. Once Sarah started speaking John's love language, something magical happened. John felt encouraged, supported, and deeply valued. In turn, he became more attentive to Sarah's needs. By simply speaking life into each other, their relationship blossomed into a space of mutual care and respect. Imagine if we all did this, not just with our partners but with everyone in our lives. What if, instead of assuming people know how we feel, we told them? What if we made it a habit to say, "I see you, I'm proud of you," or "Thank you for being you"? Words have the power to build bridges, heal wounds, and change perspectives. For someone whose love language is words of affirmation, these bridges can carry the weight of love, trust, and connection. So, the next time you see someone trying, succeeding, or simply being their authentic self, don't keep your thoughts to yourself. speak them out loud. You never know, it might just change their world. Acts of service. Picture this, Sarah is having a hectic week at work. The deadlines are piling up, and she's barely keeping her head above water. Without being asked, John steps in. He cooks dinner, folds the laundry, and even organizes her work bag for the next day. Sarah doesn't just feel relief, she feels seen. To her, John's actions say, "I'm here for you. I've got your back." For someone whose love language is acts of service, these thoughtful gestures are more than just chores or favors. They're love in action. It's about showing, not just telling, how much you care. Now, let's dig deeper into why this love language matters. In a world where words often dominate, acts of service challenges us to rethink how we express love. It asks us to pay attention to the needs of others, not in grand, sweeping ways, but through simple, intentional acts. Think about your own life. Have you ever had a moment where someone lightened your load? Maybe they helped you with a project, brought you a meal when you were too tired to cook, or even just took out the trash without being asked. Those moments stick with us. They remind us that love isn't always about big declarations. Sometimes, it's found in the quiet, unspoken ways people show they care. Race where acts of service becomes transformative. It shifts our perspective on love and relationships. When we focus on actions, we start to see the world through a lens of empathy and effort. It's no longer just about what we want or feel, it's about what we can give. For John and Sarah, this realization changed everything. John used to believe that saying "I love you" was enough. But when he started helping Sarah with the little things, like making her coffee in the morning or fixing things around the house, he saw her light up in ways he hadn't noticed before. And for Sarah, recognizing John's love through his actions made her more aware of the ways she could reciprocate. She began to ask herself, how can I make John's life a little easier today? This mutual effort turned their relationship into a partnership built on care and understanding. Race the larger lesson, acts of service teaches us to be more observant, more thoughtful, and more proactive in our relationships. It challenges us to move beyond words and into action, to ask ourselves, what can I do to make the people I care about feel loved and supported? This love language doesn't just change relationships, it changes how we see the world. It shifts our focus from ourselves to others. It helps us see love not as a feeling but as a series of choices we make every day. And Race the best part, this perspective isn't limited to romantic relationships. Imagine applying it to your friendships, your family, or even your community. A neighbor who needs help with their yard. A coworker swamped with deadlines. A friend who just had a baby. Every small act of service is a chance to spread love, kindness, and connection. So, the next time you notice someone struggling, ask yourself, what can I do to help? It might be a small gesture, folding laundry, running an errand, or lending a hand, but for someone whose love language is acts of service, it could mean the world. Receiving gifts. Picture this, Sarah knows John's been feeling stressed lately. On her way home, she spots his favorite snack at the store and grabs it. When she hands it to him later, along with a small, handwritten note saying, "I thought this might cheer you up," John feels a wave of warmth and appreciation. For John, the snack isn't just a treat. It's a symbol of Sarah's love and thoughtfulness. To him, it says, "You were on my mind, and I care about you." For people whose love language is receiving gifts, it's not about materialism or expensive things. It's about the meaning behind the gift. Each token, no matter how small, is a tangible reminder of love and connection. Now, let's look deeper. Many people misunderstand this love language, dismissing it as shallow or focused on possessions. But that's far from the truth. Receiving gifts isn't about the object itself, it's about the story it tells. It's the thought, the effort, and the love wrapped into something tangible that makes this language so powerful. Think about it. Have you ever received a heartfelt gift, no matter how simple, and felt deeply moved. Maybe it was a shell picked up from the beach, a handmade card, or even a small token that reminded someone of you. It wasn't the value of the item that mattered, it was the thought behind it. Take Sarah and John, for instance. When Sarah began surprising John with small, thoughtful gifts, like his favorite snack or a book she knew he'd love, John felt a new level of appreciation. To him, these gifts were Sarah's way of saying, "I notice you. I care about what makes you happy." Over time, John started doing the same for Sarah. He'd leave her little notes, bring her flowers from the garden, or surprise her with a special treat. For both of them, these small gestures became anchors in their relationship, tangible reminders of their love and thoughtfulness. But erase the bigger picture, receiving gifts isn't just about romantic relationships. It's a way to strengthen connections in all areas of life. A small gift for a friend who's had a tough week. A souvenir for a family member when you're traveling. A surprise coffee for a coworker who's been working hard. These acts can deepen bonds and create lasting memories. This love language also transforms the way we see the world. When you start speaking the language of receiving gifts, you become more attuned to the small, meaningful moments in life. You begin to notice opportunities to make someone smile, to bring joy to someone's day. A walk in the park might inspire you to pick up a smooth stone or a pretty leaf to share with someone you care about. A trip to the store becomes an opportunity to grab a small treat you know will brighten someone's mood. But the impact goes even further. This perspective teaches us to value the thought and intention behind gestures, not just in giving but in receiving. It helps us see that love and care often come in the smallest of packages, wrapped in thoughtfulness and attention. Imagine a world where we all embrace this mindset, where every small token, every heartfelt gesture, became a bridge of connection. Where we all learn to say, "I see you, I value you, and am thinking of you." So, the next time you want to show love, consider a small, meaningful gift. It doesn't have to be expensive or grand. Sometimes, the smallest gestures carry the deepest meaning. Quality time. Imagine this: Sarah and John have had a long, busy day. Work is demanding, errands are piling up, and they both feel drained. But tonight, they decide to carve out time for each other. They turn off their phones, put away any distractions, and head out for a simple walk in the park. As they walk, they're not just passing time. They talk about their day, share stories, laugh at little jokes, and really listen to each other. It's in those moments, when they are truly present with one another, that they feel a connection so strong it seems to reset everything. For people whose love language is quality time, these moments of undivided attention mean everything. It's not about doing something extravagant or expensive. It's about the connection that's created when you give your full attention to someone you care about. It says, "You are important to me. I'm here, now, just for you." Now, let's take a step back and think about the world we live in today. How often are we truly present with the people we love? In a world filled with constant notifications, endless to-do lists, and the temptation to check our phones, undistracted, meaningful time together can feel rare. We all know the feeling, sitting next to someone, but both of you are glued to screens. Sure, you're physically together, but the connection is missing. It's like sitting in the same room but feeling miles apart. When you're distracted by the noise of the world, you miss out on the deep, soul-nourishing connection that only comes when you are fully present with someone. The beauty of quality time is that it invites us to press pause. It teaches us to prioritize what truly matters, our relationships. When Sarah and John started carving out moments to connect without distractions, their relationship transformed. They realized that the time they spent together, fully engaged, was the glue that held everything together. But here's the deeper lesson: when we focus on quality time, we begin to shift our perspective on what it means to truly connect with others. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of the attention you give. Think about it. How much more meaningful would our relationships be if we made an effort to be fully present, if we listened without interrupting, if we put away our phones and really looked at each other? This lesson also changes how we see the world and how we prioritize our relationships. In a world that celebrates hustle and busyness, quality time teaches us to slow down and cherish the moments we have with the people who matter most. We begin to see that time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and when we give it to someone, we're offering them something irreplaceable. Imagine how different your day would look if, instead of rushing from one task to another, you made time to connect with the people around you. Whether it's a simple conversation over coffee, a walk in the park, or an evening free from distractions, those moments of attention and presence would become more meaningful, more memorable. And this mindset isn't limited to romantic relationships. It can change how we interact with everyone: family, friends, co-workers, even strangers. Imagine giving a friend your full attention when they need support, or listening intently when a colleague shares their ideas. This simple act of presence builds trust and connection, creating deeper, more meaningful bonds. So, hey, raise the bigger question: how can we begin to create more moments of quality time in our lives? It doesn't require grand gestures. It just requires a conscious effort to be present, to put aside distractions, and to truly listen. Physical touch. Imagine this: John has had a stressful day. He's been running on fumes, juggling work deadlines and personal challenges. As he walks through the door, Sarah immediately notices the tension in his body. Without saying a word, she gently pulls him into a warm hug. That one gesture, simple, yet powerful, speaks volumes. In that moment, John doesn't need any explanations, doesn't need any advice, or even words of reassurance. The comfort of Sarah's touch is enough to remind him that he's not alone. It's a reminder that in the chaos of life, love can still be a soothing presence. For people whose love language is physical touch, those moments of closeness, whether a hug, a kiss, a hand to hold, are often more meaningful than words. These small gestures don't just convey affection, they create a deeper connection. Touching isn't simply about physical proximity, it's about sharing an emotional bond that can't always be put into words. It's the ultimate expression of love and comfort. Now, let's think about how this love language extends beyond just romantic relationships. Have you ever been comforted by a friend with a hug when you were having a tough day? Or maybe you've offered a simple touch to a family member in need of support. Touch is powerful because it transcends language, culture, and even words themselves. It's a universal way of saying, "I'm here for you. You matter. I'm with you, no matter what." For those who speak this love language, touch is essential. It's as crucial as the air they breathe, and without it, they might feel unseen, unheard, or disconnected. This isn't about seeking attention or needing validation, it's about feeling reassured, comforted, and loved through the physical closeness that makes us feel safe and valued. But the true beauty of physical touch lies in how it reshapes the way we perceive love and connection in the world around us. In today's fast-paced, often disconnected world, it's easy to forget how powerful a hug, a kiss, or simply holding hands can be. We live in a time when technology dominates, and face-to-face interactions are often replaced by texts or calls. Yet, in the absence of touch, we may find ourselves feeling more isolated, less grounded, and emotionally distant from those around us. Understanding the power of physical touch reminds us that love isn't always about the grand gestures or expensive gifts, it's about the quiet, intimate moments where we physically connect with the people who mean the most to us. Touch speaks when words fall short. It offers comfort in times of sadness, joy in times of celebration, and reassurance in moments of uncertainty. Think about it: when you're having a rough day, a simple hug from someone you love can change everything. When you're celebrating an achievement, holding someone's hand or receiving a gentle kiss can make that moment feel even more special. Physical touch shows us that sometimes, love doesn't need to be said, it just needs to be felt. This love language also challenges us to rethink how we show up for others. When we recognize the power of physical connection, we begin to look at the world differently. We notice how much our loved ones crave that closeness, how much they value that simple, comforting touch. We learn to be more present with the people around us, whether it's a hug for a friend who's going through a hard time, or a gentle hand on a colleague's back to show support. We become more aware of the emotional impact our touch can have on others. When we embrace the lesson of physical touch, we shift our perspective on how to build stronger, more empathetic connections. We realize that sometimes the smallest act, a touch on the arm, a hug after a long day, can be the most profound expression of love. In a world that often feels disconnected, this lesson reminds us that we can create deeper connections by simply reaching out, both physically and emotionally. Imagine a world where we all gave more of ourselves through physical closeness. What if we all took a moment to hold hands, offer a hug, or simply be physically present with the people we care about? In doing so, we wouldn't just be strengthening our relationships, we'd be building a culture of empathy, trust, and love. A culture that understands that love is not only about words, but also about the touch that connects us all. The next time you want to express love, think about the power of touch. It's not about the frequency or the intensity, it's about the intention behind it. It's the act of showing, without words, that you are there, that you care, and that you will always have their back. It's in these small acts of physical connection that we can find some of the deepest expressions of love. Conclusion. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key lessons we've learned and how they can change the way we experience love. Here is a quick recap. Words of affirmation. Love is powerful when expressed through kind and encouraging words. Compliments, appreciation, and affirmations can fill your partner's love tank and help them feel seen and valued. Remember, for some people, words are their emotional fuel. A simple "I'm proud of you" can mean the world. Acts of service. For some, actions speak louder than words. Showing love by doing things, helping with chores, taking care of tasks, or providing support, can be a deeply meaningful way to express affection. Remember, it's not about the size of the act, but the thought behind it. Even small acts of kindness go a long way. Receiving gifts. Thoughtful gifts, no matter how big or small, show your partner that you're thinking of them. It's not about the price tag, it's the thoughtfulness and love that count. Remember, a meaningful gift can serve as a physical reminder of your affection, making your partner feel cherished. Quality time. Giving undivided attention and spending quality time together strengthens the bond between you and your loved one. In a world full of distractions, true connection happens when we focus on each other without interruptions. Remember, it's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of the moments you share. A walk, a conversation, or simply being present can deepen your relationship. Physical touch. For some, love is felt through physical closeness, whether it's a hug, a kiss, or simply holding hands. Physical touch is a way to express love and comfort that words sometimes can't convey. Remember, a simple touch can reassure, comfort, and connect in a way that words never can. It's an essential part of feeling emotionally close. Understanding your partner's love language, and your own, can change the way you approach relationships. By speaking the right language, you fill your partner's love tank and create a stronger, more fulfilling bond. It's not about changing who you are, but learning to express love in ways that resonate with the person you care about. The beauty of the 5 love languages is that they offer practical tools to build deeper connections, reduce misunderstandings, and foster love that lasts. As we reach the final thought of our journey through the 5 love languages, let's reflect on the most important lesson Dr. Gary Chapman teaches us. Love, as Chapman reminds us, isn't just about feeling. It's about learning, adapting, and most importantly, giving love in a way that resonates deeply with the person you care about. Love isn't one size fits all. It's a unique experience for each individual, and the key to a thriving relationship is simple: what fills their love tank? It's about asking that question and then doing your best to love them in the way that truly speaks to their heart. Whether it's through words, actions, gifts, quality time, or physical touch, love is about learning how to speak your partner's love language fluently. And here's the beautiful thing, this isn't just for couples. The lessons from this book can apply to anyone you care about. Whether it's your family, friends, or even colleagues, understanding and speaking someone's love language can transform all of your relationships. By offering love in a way that others understand and need, you're building stronger, more meaningful connections. Now, as you think about your own relationships, ask yourself, what's my love language? Are you speaking it fluently with the ones you love? And just as importantly, do you understand the love languages of the people you care about most? The real magic happens when we learn to speak each other's languages. By doing this, we create deeper bonds, stronger connections, and a world filled with love that resonates on a much deeper level. It's a simple yet powerful shift, learning the language of love and adapting to it.